Hello and welcome back to one of our feature videos. In this feature video, we're going to be featuring our contribution link and how it works. When you have your church MemberLink program, as you can see on the screen currently, there's a tab or an icon at the top. It says Contribution Link. That will only show up for specific individuals in your church that you have given the privileges by permission level to be able to see the contributions information. When you click on the contribution link information, it opens up to the contribution link. Over on the left hand side is our control panel. There's a navigation panel. In the center section is a control panel that shows the transactions. And again, let's talk about the transactions and how they work. First off, when someone gives a new contribution, you can go a couple ways. Number one, on the left, you can click on add a new contribution. You can come in and you can put in an envelope number if you have an envelope number. If you know their name, you can put in spell it by the first three letters, and everybody in the church with those first three letters in their name will pop up. You can select one. If they had an envelope number, you could have just typed it in, it would fill it in. You can do split donations. So if you're going to do a split donation, let's take for example, let's say that this is a check that's for $100 and it's a split donation, and $50 goes to general fund and $50 goes to a building fund, $25 to a building fund, and then maybe let's say $25 to a youth fund. So we want a general fund and a building fund. Let's change it to building fund and put $100 total amount, 100 into the amount. We would then put the amounts here of, let's say, 50, and then 25. This allows us to put the total amount in there, and we'll keep it at the date. It'll always default, this date here will always default to the previous Sunday. So if you need to change it, maybe if it's for a service that comes in at a different time, you can change it and lock it on a different date if you're putting multiple donations in. Check number, let's just say it was a check number. We had check number 345. And then we want to add that contribution to our system by just clicking contribution add. It says up here at the top, congratulations, donor information for Mike Turner. It tells exactly what it was, and you can see the information regarding to it. And you have an option now, so you can go return, you can reset all fields and start over with another one. Or then you can just go back to the contribution screen. If you go back to the contribution screen, if you take these first three at the top, you'll see these are the ones we just put in there, and the check number, all the information's in there related to it. One of the things that's pretty neat about the system is you have in here, you can change it to just show contributions, let's say for current contributions year to date. So it will change, it'll take away anything that's not within the current year. So you can change it and show everything that's in the system or contributions just for the current year. Next is you can always go in and anytime do reports, any kind of report. We'll talk about that in just a second, but let's talk about going in and putting in contributions in what we call a queue. You can pop in and you can get it, you can set it up, and once you start, then someone that's putting in the donations can put all the donations in at once. It'll put them all down here in a total. You can give them a batch number if you want to, or a vision number. Once you set it up, get it all set up, it'll keep a total of how many donations and what they are. It could be for one service, you can notify it, and then once you look at it, make sure everything's correct, then you would put upload queue and then upload all those donations at one time to the system. It's a tremendous tool that allows you to be able to do that. The tabs here in the top for this would be the pledges. You can go in and set up pledges. In other words, if you had a pledge campaign going on and people have pledges to the building fund, you can set up multiple pledges and it'll track those pledges, set up your fund categories. One of the things that we mentioned when we get back to contributions, let's talk about fund categories. You can set up as many fund categories as you need, and those fund categories that you would have can be things such as building fund, general fund, whatever funds you have that you can put in there. So it allows you to keep up with all of those. With any kind of reports you have going on, you can do multiple reports. You can do reports, let's just say, of all funds. If we went back and changed this back here, let's say to 2018, we'll look at it and we'll just say view the report. Then that report would come up. In this report, you can see it's putting all the different individuals and their donations together. But I can change that and make it a sort. Multiple ways to sort the reports out and look at it. I can sort by date. It gives me them by date. I can sort by batch number if I want to, and it gives me that information. I can sort it by just the funds, and there it is by funds, or I can sort it by funds totals, and there's just the totals of all the donations for the funds. I can always do any kind of report by date. I can do a date range and all kind of multiple types of reports that are in the system. So it does allow you to give you pretty much any kind of reporting information that you need. Let's talk about the year end. When it comes to the year end, you'll have a drop down. Yes, the two are closed, but if they're not closed, it'll once you do close a year, it locks it, and no contribution can be edited or modified that's in the system for that year. That allows you to stay in compliance with the IRS and when you're printing out your end of the year tax reports. I wanted to show you that real quick. So if I print out those tax reports, I can go in here. Here's one we've got looking at. You can download that. It'll download it into a Word document. We'll just open it up and show it to you. And once it opens up, it prints that tax report. Will come up into a format. It's an 8.5 by 11 sheet. The summary is always there, but it puts it into a format that has the names, mailing addresses, and all in it perfectly when you fold it into a trifold for an 8.5 by 11 envelope. A 9.5 by 11 envelope. It lets you put that in there, and so you can. I'll give you the wrong dimensions. A number 10 envelope. It lets you put it into a window envelope, so for easy mailing. Also, our system allows you to do printing of labels. If you want to use your printed envelopes, you want to do labels, you can print labels for the contributions at any time. Tremendous tool. Support tickets. If your church wants to submit a support ticket, remember, anywhere through our system, the support ticket option is open, and you can shoot those support tickets to us, and you can pull that information. Jumping right back to the last thing on contributions, you've seen where you can reset it, add the contributions, you can export that list, you can put it in any format, any kind of reports. Your contributions are very easily kept up with. Let me mention one last thing. If you're using a e-giving service, you can go in here, you can put e-giving, and you can import that e-giving service. We have multiple companies that provide their records into e-giving, into a CSV file. You can import that in to the system. Very soon we'll have a complete integration with Generosity through Lifeway. This will be a tremendous add-on to have Generosity as one of our product advancements in part of our system. We hope this gives you some insight on the contribution module of Church CAA Ministries and our Church MemberLink Church Management Software Program. Thanks and God bless.